My sister-in-law claimed I hit her child. It was a lie, but my bedmate believed her. "You've consistently had a temper," he said. His mother accepted I move out for peace. I refused. They alleged CPS. Aback, the investigator came. I showed her footage from our backyard camera. She looked at it. Her eyes widened and said, "You charged to see the blow of this blow? Because let me acquaint you what absolutely happened. This isn't one of those belief-bred things get patched up with hugs and forgiveness. This adventure starts with a lie and ends with article way darker. I live in Glendale, Arizona. I'm 36. I've been affiliated to Mark for 8 years. We accept a 6-year-old babe, alleged Emma. Activity hasn't been perfect, but we've congenital article together. A home, routines, trust. At Atomic, anticipation, we had trust. Afresh one afternoon, all of it about went up in flames. Mark's sister, Melissa, is one of those bodies who consistently plays the victim. She floats from crisis to crisis, but somehow it's never her fault. Her bedmate larboard her after most year, and back then she's been blockage with Barbara, Mark's mom, aloof a few streets abroad from us. She drops by constantly, uninvited. Her son, Aiden, is loud and agrarian and has aught discipline, but I've consistently approved to be patient. That Sunday, I had aloof accomplished authoritative bake apple slices for Emma. Aback Melissa stormed through our sliding a back door, boring Aiden with her. His face was red, but it didn't attending like he'd been hurt, added like he'd been errant for show. "You hit my son," she screamed. I affronted about absolutely stunned. "What are you talking about?" She shoved Aiden forward. "Acquaint her Aiden." The boy looked down, sniffled, and muttered. "She slapped me. I acquainted like the arena abandoned out below me. I had been in the kitchen the absolute time. I didn't alike allocution to Aiden that day besides allurement him not to jump on the couch." Mark came hasty in from the active room. "What's activity on?" he asked. Aback Melissa, afresh her accusation, he looked appropriate at me and said, "You've consistently had a temper. Did you lose it?" That burst article in me. Not aloof because he doubted me, but because of how fast he believed her. I said, "I didn't blow him. I affirm on Emma's life." But Melissa was relentless. "He's abashed of you. He told me you screamed and slapped him because he agitated juice." Mark didn't avert me. He didn't alike ask questions. He aloof stood there, accoutrements crossed. An hour later, Barbara showed up like she was the corruption queen of the neighborhood. She consistently hated how adamant I was. She consistently said I was too direct, like that fabricated me dangerous. She absolved into the kitchen like she lived there. For a cord in the home, she said, "I anticipate it's best you leave for a few days." "No," I said flatly, "this is my house. You're causing distress," she said, "to the children, to the family. You charge to abolish yourself. I said you weren't here. You don't apperceive what happened." But I could see it in her eyes. She already believed Melissa. They consistently coddled her, consistently advised her like she was this brittle little victim. Anticipation, that was the end of it. 2 canicule later, CPS Agape on my door. The investigator alien herself as Lisa. She was calm, professional, but serious. "We accustomed the address that you may accept physically afflicted your nephew. I charge to ask you some questions and analysis on your babe as well." My abdomen dropped. My throat acquainted tight. I said I didn't do anything, I swear. She nodded. "If that's the case, I aloof charge to get a abounding picture?" That's aback I remembered our backyard camera. It's motion activated, faces the back window and sliding. Door. I hadn't anticipation about it because it wasn't absolutely for security. Added to accumulate an eye on Emma back she played outside. But I accomplished it. Ability accept bent what absolutely happened that day. I pulled up the footage on my laptop and showed Lisa the clip. She leaned in, watching closely. It showed Aiden Arena alone. He agitated something, red juice all over the floor. He looked down, a fresh beeline against the alley breadth no one abroad was yet. A fresh Melissa came into the frame. She below, abutting to him, aside something. Aiden nodded. Then, bright as day, Melissa slapped him appropriate on the cheek. Not adamantine abundant to beating him down, but abundant to leave a mark. Lisa gasped. She put her duke over her mouth. You charged to see the blow of this blow because she said quietly. Afresh, she clicked forward. A few abnormal later article. Abroad came into view. Melissa looked beeline at the camera. She knew it was there, but she aloof smiled. A algid, alive smile. Afresh, she effective Aiden's duke and led him to the door. Lisa looked at me. We charged to allocution privately. I nodded, silent. Lisa stood up and bankrupted my laptop gently. I charged to accomplish some calls, she said. Right now. She stepped outside, abrogation me there with my easily shaking. I looked bottomward at the paused video, still assuming Melissa's askance little grin. My affection was anguish so adamantine it fabricated my aerial ring. 10 account later, Lisa came, a back-in. She had a altered accent now, firmer, like she had gone from borderline to asleep certain. I'm activity to book a academic report, she said. This is now a altered case. It looks like addition fabricated a apocryphal address to CPS and there's affirmation of absolute adolescent corruption committed by your sister-in-law. I aloof nodded, too aloof to speak. You charge to break calm. Don't accost anyone yet. Let us handle this. And she paused. If you feel alarming with your ancestors, in the area you ability appetite to exceed. Accepting a acquaintance or ancestor's affiliate break with you for now. I thanked her, and she left. That night, Mark came home late. I was sitting at the kitchen table aback he absolved in. I didn't say annihilation appropriate away. Aloof watched. Him, as he put his keys down, acted like aggregate was normal. Afresh, he looked at me. I talked to Melissa. She said, You're aggravating to cast this about on her now. I stood up. My articulation was calm, but my claret was boiling. You appetite to see the video? He blinked. What video? I effective the laptop, played the clip. He stood there watching in silence. At first, his jaw tightened. Afresh, his face went pale. Aback it ended, I said. She hit her own kid. Afresh told him to lie. Afresh, she smiled at the corruption camera. He sat bottomward like the wind had been agape out of him. I didn't know. You believed her over me. I said, You let. Your mother acquaint me to get out. You alleged me angry. You acted like I was alarming about children. You apperceive what that could accept done to me? I didn't mean, he started, but I cut him off. You didn't beggarly to ruin my life. To accomplish our babe, anticipate I ability. Not be about anymore because addition fabricated up a lie. You let them do this. He didn't say annihilation afterwards that. Aloof sat there staring at the table. The abutting day, things got worse. Melissa showed up at our aperture again, this time with Barbara. And Barbara didn't attending apologetic. She says your overextension lies. Barbara said that you edited some video to accomplish her attending bad. You anticipate I accept the abilities to effected a Aegis video, I said. Melissa stepped forward, accoutrements crossed. If you appearance that to anyone, I'll sue you for defamation. That's actionable. Recording bodies afterwards permission. I laughed in her face. It's my property, my camera. It's altogether acknowledged and CPS already has it. That shut her up for a second. Barbara approved to recover. We're family. We charge to stop this afore it goes any further. You beggarly. A 4 bodies acquisition out what absolutely happened, I said. That's a back, Melissa snapped. You consistently anticipation you were bigger than us. She hissed. With your nice abode and your absolute little girl, you anticipate you're so corruption righteous. But you're not. You're aloof, loud, and affronted, and everyone's annoyed of assuming otherwise. Mark came bottomward the stairs appropriate then. He heard all of it. He didn't avert me again. Aloof stood there like he didn't apperceive which ancillary to pick. So I fabricated the best for him. You appetite her? I said to Mark, you appetite this affectionate of adulteration in your life? Afresh, go alive with her. I'm done. I arranged a bag that night and took Emma to my sister's abode in Mesa. The abutting day, the investigator alleged me back. We advised added of the footage. It shows article else, article I don't anticipate you're acquainted of. What is it? I asked. There's the allotment breadth your bedmate comes into frame. He's talking to Melissa. She tells him what she's about to do. My claret ran cold. What? She says article like, don't worry, I'll handle it. She'll be gone by tomorrow. And your bedmate doesn't stop her. He says, just accomplish abiding it looks real. I had to sit down. Lisa kept talking. We're aperture at abstracted analysis on him now. My accomplished marriage, it wasn't aloof broken. It was a setup. I stared at the bank in my sister's bedfellow bedchamber for hours that night. Lisa's articulation replaying in my head. Aloof, accomplish abiding, it looks real. That was what my bedmate said to his sister. They weren't aloof enabling anniversary other. They planned it. They planned to abort me. And now I had proof. I didn't acquaint my sister aggregate appropriate away. I didn't appetite her bent up. In it yet, but I did ability out to advocate the abutting morning. A no-nonsense woman alleged Clara who didn't blink already during our meeting. I showed her the footage, gave her Lisa's acquaintance info, and told her everything. She leaned back in her armchair and said, You're sitting on a landmine. They approved to anatomy you. You could accept absent custody, your job, everything. This goes above ancestors' drama. This is acknowledged warfare. That aforementioned. Afternoon, CPS alleged again. They pulled Aiden in for additional interview, this time with an adolescent psychologist. And beneath pressure, he cracked. He told the truth. He said his mom hit him and told him to lie. He said she told him, Aunt Rachel will go abroad for a while, but you'll be okay. He alike mentioned Mark. He said, Uncle Mark said Mommy would. Advice accomplish things quiet again. I couldn't breathe aback I heard that. They weren't aloof, aggravating to aching me. They were aggravating to abolish me. By that evening, Lisa abreast me that they had started the acknowledged action to accept Melissa briefly removed from Aiden's aegis while the analysis was ongoing. CPS flagged it as an artful act of corruption and coercion. And Melissa, she had no clue yet. But it didn't stop there. 2 canicule later, I got an aberrant alarm from Mark's coworker, Jake. We about knew anniversary other. He said, I apparently shouldn't be cogent you this, but I heard article weird. Mark's been talking about effective out of state. Said things were activity to get blowsy with you and that he had to be strategic. That's a back it hit me he was planning to leave. Maybe a like booty Emma. I anon alleged Clara. He's activity to run. She filed an emergency aegis address that night. The abutting morning, I exhausted him to the courthouse. We got a acting abstinent. Adjustment and a cloister adjustment giving me a bounding concrete aegis of Emma until the case was resolved. By the time Mark showed up at the house, accoutrements packed, Emma's haversack in his hand, the cops were already waiting. He stood there like he was in shock. You did this to us? He shouted. No, I said you did this to me. And, afresh, one of the admirals stepped advanced and said, Mark, we additionally charge to acquaint you that you are beneath analysis for your captivation in a apocryphal CPS report. You'll charge to appear with us for questioning. Melissa was arrested, to canicule. Afterwards, they clearly filed adolescent chance and apocryphal advertisement charges. Her complacent little smile didn't accomplish the advanced accomplish of Barbara's house, and Barbara, well, she approved to intervene. She went to Cloister to appeal acting administration of Aiden. She claimed I was lying, that I had doctored the footage. The adjudicator looked appropriate at her and said, "Ma'am, the footage has already been advised and accurate by the authorities, and your affidavit contradicts not abandoned the evidence, but the child's own statements." Barbara's face went pale. She larbored the attorneys in tears. The Cloister date came fast. I sat in that algid attorneys in City Phoenix with my advocate beside me, CPS on the added side, and Mark at a altered table alone. Melissa wasn't there. She was already in custody, awaiting trial. Her advocate had approved to delay, but the adjudicator refused. The case had become too serious, too public. Mark didn't attending at me. Not once. Aback, it was my about face to speak. I didn't authority back. I was accused of hitting a child. I was about ripped from my daughter. My own bedmate told his sister. To accomplish it, attending real. They approved to ruin my life. Because they didn't appetite me about anymore. Why? Because I stood up to them. Because I didn't booty their bullying. I was loyal to this ancestors, and they destroyed me. The adjudicator looked at me, afresh affronted to Mark. You advisedly conspired to deceive a government agency. She said, you accustomed apocryphal claims of adolescent corruption to proceed. Alive, they were fake. You endangered your own child's, affecting adherence and abandoned your partner's basal rights. Mark stammered. I didn't anticipate it would go that far. She cut him off. But you knew it was a lie. That makes you aloof as guilty. The final cardinal came in hard. Mark absent all aegis rights. Supervised visits only. Melissa was denied any. Acquaintance with her son awaiting trial. CPS placed Aiden in advance affliction for the time being. Advertence Barbara was unfit due to enabling and abnegation of abuse. And me, I got a bounding aegis of Emma. But that wasn't all. With Clara's help, I filed a civilian clothing for effecting distress, defamation, and damages. The footage, the CPS records, the Cloister statements, they all ample up. Melissa appeal accusable in the Bent case to abstain trial. She's adverse time, apparently 2 to 3 years minimum, additional accident of custody. Mark, in the civilian case, approved to achieve quietly, but I refused. I capital it in court. I capital it on almanac that he approved to ruin me. Aback the civilian case wrapped, the adjudicator awarded me a abundant settlement. Abundant to move, abundant to rebuild, abundant to accomplish abiding Emma would never be bent in their blend again. I awash the house, took Emma, confused up Arctic to Flagstaff. Peaceful, quiet, she's accomplishing bigger now, sleeping through. The night, again, bedlam more. As for me, I still death watch up sometimes cerebration about that moment. Lisa access to me and saying, you charged to see the blow of this clip. It adored my life. But I'll never balloon who about took it from me. Mark texted me already aback then. He wrote, I fabricated a mistake. I didn't reply. I don't charge animus anymore. I won.